Oh boy, I think we just had one of the biggest upsets in BattleBots history. This was a crazy episode. Thank you guys for tuning in to my review and reaction of episode 12 of BattleBots. Oh man, I am so excited. I think we should go right ahead and start with the biggest upset of the night. This was Mammoth versus Copperhead. Oh boy. I cannot believe Copperhead blew this one. It it was it really was their fight to lose, and we know they've had reliability issues since the bot was created. I just didn't think it would come back to bite them in this fight. But yeah, don't I guess you can't count out the driving of Mammoth of Team Mammoth, and they pulled through this. They pulled through with the upset. It was crazy. They used their UHMW plastic weapon arm, which I think was a good idea. It was able to flip Copperhead back and forth. Even though it didn't do a ton of damage, it looked like damage. And so I think they were able to get a lot of damage points. I know one of the members of Team Copperhead, they posted a video not too long ago explaining what happened in their fight. And they did say that there wasn't any actual damage that they took during the fight. However, it did clearly look like Mammoth caused some sorts of damage because their weapon stopped, even though they're saying that it wasn't it was it was something that had to do with before the fight. They're using this thing that helps start up the drum, and then it switches over to the actual motor that spins the drum, and the thing that was like starting up the drum wasn't working for some reason, and they never they never truly did figure out the what the problem was. So I think this fight is something that Copperhead needed. I think that after this fight, Team Copperhead is gonna do whatever it takes to fix their problems for next season, and that next year they're gonna come back better and stronger than ever. So I can't wait to see that. As for Mammoth, um, everything kind of had to go their way in this fight, and it really did. I don't think everything's gonna go their way in the next fight, but I'll make another video with predictions. Um, this is a little unfortunate though, because I was really hoping for Shatter and Copperhead to win their first fights so we could get the Battle of the Beards. The two greatest facial haired people in BattleBots fighting against each other. Oh man, that would have been a sight for sore eyes. Next year. We'll get it next year, but not this time. Sadly, not this time. The Gruff Bloodsport fight was almost a huge upset, but oh, I think I don't know if it's safe to say this, but I'm gonna say it. The driver of Bloodsport is the best driver in the entire field of BattleBots. They are insane. Bloodsport is not an easy bot to drive, and their driver is just so good, so good. Um, Gruff had some drive issues this time, and Bloodsport broke their blade early. That's a little bit of a tongue twister. Broke blade early. Um, but they were able to stay aggressive, uh, keep control of the fight, and because Gruff had their drive issues, they were able to pull through, and that was an awesome thing to see. That would have broken so many brackets if Bloodsport lost this one. So I'm really thankful that their driver was able to pull through. And I can't wait to see more from Bloodsport. I'm sure they'll fix. They've got tons of weapon blades. So we'll we'll see them again. Well, you guys have made it 5 minutes in so far. So if you'd like to like and subscribe, that'd be awesome, guys. On to the next fight. Shatter versus Shatter versus Lockjaw. This was, oh, Shatter's like such, it was such a good fight, and I'm so happy Shatter was able to get in as many hammer shots as it could, and it was just so fun to watch. Um, this is Shatter hasn't faced a ton of like high caliber opponents, and so I think Lockjaw was a pretty good match for them. I wouldn't consider Lockjaw like a high caliber opponent, but I think there's someone you got to look out for, kind of like Ribot mid tier level. So I think this was a really good fight for Shatter. They really proved themselves that at least this year they are the best hammer bot in the field right now. They're driven so well, and I mean the way they do their hammer, I really like that compared to Beta at least, they get unlimited hammer shots, and I think that's awesome. I don't think that you should need to be conservative about firing the hammer, and it's great to see Shatter driven the way it is. So I'm so happy for Team Shatter. This is awesome. The rookie jackpot, dang. They had an awesome run this year, and they had an awesome last fight. I think the wedge was a good idea. I know a lot of people are skeptical, or were skeptical about it. Um, I think they might have gone even earlier without it, because Rotator is the most, well, not the most, but one of the most reliable bots in the field right now. And so I really didn't think Jackpot would last quite as long as it did, and it gave and took some awesome hits and kept on going, and also made a couple of pretty awesome images for us here. So this was a super fun fight to watch, and I hope to see more from these two teams in the future. Endgame got a quick and fast win over Perfect Phoenix. This was a fun one. I was quite surprised that at the beginning they weren't really able to touch each other. Their weapons were like inches apart, and the suspense was killing me. But it kind of played out like we thought. I think Perfect Phoenix lasted a little bit longer than I thought they were going to, so I think they should be proud for how they did this year. Um, but yeah, Endgame, this was a great matchup for Endgame. Bad matchup for Perfect Phoenix. You know, they especially not being able to self-right. But I really hope to see Tyler later on in season 6, and I hope they fix their robot and he keeps on being in battlebots. It's awesome to see him here. So good luck, um, good luck Endgame, and I hope Endgame does well in their next fight. So I'm glad that we get to see more of them this season. These were two of the greatest drivers in BattleBots. Um, oh man, the way Kraken was able to drive with only one wheel, you can see in the image here on the left that pretty early on, I'd say within the first minute, Kraken, or maybe within the first 90 seconds, Kraken lost its wheel completely, and I don't know how they were able to drive like they did. Like, it's some vertical spinners can do this using gyroscopic forces. They can sort of drive in a straight line, but Kraken was able to drive so well with one wheel. It was insane. It was such a good fight for both teams. Kraken always puts on a good show. I love having them in BattleBots. Um, I can't imagine BattleBots without Kraken. Actually, they're just so fun, and this was a rough matchup for them, but I can't wait to see more from Kraken. I can't wait to see more from Bloodsport this season. I think, or not Bloodsport, Sawblaze. I think Sawblaze is a real contender for the Giant Nut this year. There are a couple of teams like Sawblaze, Bloodsport, Whiplash that I really think have a good shot at winning the whole thing this season. So, best of luck to Team Sawblaze as they move on. They're such a well-rounded bot, they're such a well-driven bot, and their design is just so genius. Fusion versus Tantrum. This was one of the greatest fights of the episode. I was a little scared for Tantrum after every single hit. I thought any of the robots could have been knocked out. Um, when Tantrum got their weapon broken, or it wasn't quite broken, but it was tilted sideways. That scared me pretty bad. I thought Fusion had them on the ropes there, but oh man, I can't believe their weapon kept spinning even after it was hit and completely sideways. That was pretty insane. They must have some kind of hub motor setup that they use for Team Tantrum. But it's been awesome to see the road Tantrum's been on. They've become way more reliable than they used to be, and they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with. They're gonna keep on improving their robot, and I think their design is just so genius. I hope that next year we get to see Fusion again and they become a little bit more reliable, because it's pretty cool the physics we get when there are two weapons on a robot. It's pretty insane, especially weapons of the caliber of Fusion. But either way, Fusion puts on entertaining fights. I love to see fire. Robots catch on fire in fights. We love to see big hits. So it's never a dull moment with either of these teams. This was our last fight of the episode, and it was an insane fight. Neither bot was giving each other an inch, and these drivers are just so good. That either of them had shots at winning the giant nut this year. Um, Now Witch Doctor's gonna get to move on and shoot their shot for the giant nut, but they put on quite the performance in this fight. This is the old Witch Doctor we know and love, and it's a better driven Witch Doctor. It's a more reliable Witch Doctor than we even saw in season 4, and they're gonna put on some good fights in this tournament. So watch out for Witch Doctor, man. They are coming. Crazy, crazy episode. I think if Witch Doctor had lost their blade or Scorpios had kept theirs spinning, it could have been either it could have gone either way. This was really a toss up, and normally it's not really supposed to be a toss up for the 10 seed versus the 23 seed, but both these robots were just so evenly matched. They say in March Madness when filling out brackets that the most common upset that happens is the 5 seed losing to the 12 seed, and this is a little different because it's 32 instead of 16 seeds. So I guess I know it doesn't quite work out like this, but if you multiply 5 times 2, 12 times 2, 5 seed versus 24 seeds, the fights in there, they're all up in the air. It could go either way, and that's what we saw here. Thank you guys so much for watching my review of episode 12. Pretty soon I'll post a video for my episode 13 predictions. I'm super excited for that one. This is Logan tuning out.